Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Action Comics number 77, published in September 1944, with story by Jerry Siegel and art by Ed Dubrotka. Another Superman versus prankster adventure. Got a match, Superman? The Daily Planet prints 1,000,000 newspapers a day, every one alike, but when the enterprising prankster goes to press, he tailors the news to fit the individual customer and pockets prodigious profits, for a time, that is, until Superman upsets the chuckling charlatan's plans by moving earth and ocean literally to turn falsehoods into facts and publish the amazing obituary of the headline hoax. So the prankster has once again escaped from prison, for a profitable prank to finance a long journey before some unfriendly policeman recognizes him. Todd Steele and Marsden Steamship Line stocks are still going up. I'd make millions if I could buy control of those companies. Amos Amster, the rich and unscrupulous stock manipulator. And what he's saying gives me my big idea at last. Mr. Amster, I believe. Hey, prankster, there's a reward offer out since you escaped from prison. I'll call a cop, and that would be one on you. It would keep you from buying certain steel and steamship interests very cheaply. What? Say that again? Not so fussy when you smell money, are you? I was only joking. Where can we talk privately without risking my reputation? So the next day, the prankster is out and goes to a newsstand where the fellow who is selling the newspapers is blind, and he clunks him on the head. Rare just indeed, here in the heart of the business district, where the man I want to see pass a dozen times a day. I play a blind man's part, selling made-to-order news that will make their eyes pop. So along comes Thomas Todd of the Todd Steel Mills and gets the newspaper, and the headline reads, "Earthquake wrecks Todd Steel Plant," and he kind of freaks out because he will be ruined. Meanwhile, Amstel comes up to him and offers to buy his stock. Amstel, are you still interested in buying my steel mill? Yes, but not at my first price. I might possibly pay you half that much. We'll go to your office, Amster, and sign the papers right away. It's a shame they haven't a sense of humor so they could laugh too when the payoff comes. So next along comes Milton Marsden of the Steamship Line, and his newspaper headline says, SS Regal sinks returning to U.S., and he also freaks out that his company will be ruined. But Amster makes an offer much lower than what the original price was. I was hoping Killer Kronk would come by, and here he is. Underworld gossip says he murdered and robbed that jewelry salesman last night, and so I have a little surprise for him. His headline says, "Police hunt Kronk for jewel murder," so Kronk rushes off. Meanwhile, Clark Kent comes wandering along and finds the newspaper seller knocked out. "Who did it, Joe? What's it all about?" "Don't ask me. Some feller who laughed a lot was talking to me, and all at once I got slugged. I just come to." So Clark Kent goes back, and Lois is kind of in a panic. Here's a major mystery. Marsden, the steamship man, phoned that he's going to sue me and the Planet for a story I never wrote, and the paper never printed. He claimed I had a front-page article saying his ship, the Regal, was sunk, and that was before he found it wasn't true. He sold at a big loss to Amos Amster. Save the rest till I answer the phone. So then he gets a phone call from, what's his name? "You practically ruined me with your phony story about the earthquake wrecking my steel mill, Kent. Amster bought me out for next to nothing before I learned the truth. My story? Steel mill? Amster? One of us must be crazy. Now I'm getting blamed for a story I never wrote. Wait, here's Perry." White, all excited. "Get out to this address right away, Lois. The police have Killer Kronk there. He's been slugged, and they found a copy of the Planet connecting him with the murder of that jewelry salesman. Only we haven't printed any such story. If I may coin a phrase, the plot thickens." So Superman heads out, and Killer Kronk is being interrogated by the police. "His landlady found him slugged and called us. We found this paper, but the headline isn't in any other paper. Yet it evidently drove him here to get something he'd hidden under the floorboards, which was probably stolen by whoever slugged him. That something could have been the jewels. Someone with a sinister sense of humor signed Clark Kent's name to that phony story, and I can guess who. Ever since the prankster escaped, I've been expecting some of his not-so-funny jokes. So Superman heads out. Meanwhile, the prankster's back at his place with Amster. We did it, prankster. I've got the papers all signed, and I'll settle with you later. I'm broke now, but it won't be for long. It may be for longer than you think. You see, you're going to have to sign over everything to me. You're kidding. I'd be ruined if I did that. You'll be ruined if you don't. Buy bullets. Take your choice. Funny, isn't it? I sell the properties back to Todd and Marsden for all I can get, and you won't dare talk for fear of your own skin. I've been accused of sharp practices, but I never knew a human being could be as crooked as this. When Amster returns to his office, Superman is there. Since you seem to know why... okay, so Superman admits he knows that it was the prankster. He's a crook, a cheat, a deadbeat. I don't know why I trusted him. I'd feel sorry for you if you hadn't robbed Todd and Marsden by trickery. You could go to prison for that. But he decides he won't send him to prison because he's already learned his lesson, and just asks him where the prankster is. So Superman shows up at the prankster's place playing poker. Let me show you a game where one pair beats three of a kind. I mean, a pair of fists. So this is what the boss meant when he said he was going to get a surprise. Superman's prankster has no respect for his underlings. He couldn't care less. I could keep this up all day. I hate to neglect the prankster. Where is he? Dad hit me. Don't hit me again. He's in the back room. But all that's back there is a newspaper with a headline that says, "Ha ha, another joke on Superman" by the prankster. So Superman goes to the two men who are taken advantage of. So the Shorn Lambs are putting their heads together. Too late. Superman, we were just wondering together whether we could get you to help us. Amster doesn't own your property anymore, but someone will probably try to sell it back to you. Someone just phoned wanting to do that. He wouldn't give any name, but he asked 3 times what Amster paid us. So Superman has an idea and goes out to the Todd steel mill and lifts the entire steel mill up and hides it in I don't know, a volcano or something, or hides it somewhere. No one will find it here, and the men have plenty of materials to keep up production for the few hours they'll be out of touch with the rest of the world. Meanwhile, he goes off to one of the steam liners, it's the Regent, and creates his own storm. The passengers are getting pretty scared, sir. So am I. Who ever heard of a storm like this without any wind or any other apparent cause? We'll be drowned. Send out an SOS. Superman, perhaps you can explain this freak storm. If you're loyal to Marsden, Captain, you'll be glad it happened. It will be over soon, but with your permission, I'll take your passengers on ahead of you. So he rescues all the passengers, even the ship, though the ship is not really in any danger. What a rescue and what a story. Someday I'll give you the inside story, but meanwhile, you could do me a favor by writing another story about stolen jewels. So all the headlines in the various newspapers in Metropolis discuss that the steel mill has vanished, the Regent is doomed, and 420 rescued by Superman from liner in storm. It's no joke. No wonder Todd and Marsden wouldn't buy their companies back. Nobody will now. After all my trouble, I'm left holding the bag. Huh? Good grief. If I'm caught, they can send me to the electric chair, either as a murderer or an accessory after the fact, given that he has the jewels. I've got to get out of town, but the only way I can raise money is on those jewels. But they're so hot, no fence in the city will touch them. But Todd and Marsden are looking for bargains and gems, and they're too dumb to suspect anyone as clever as me. I'll phone them and get a foolproof disguise. So he dresses up to sell the jewels to Todd and Marsden. What a surprise meeting you here, prankster. For you. You said it, Superman, but I honestly didn't kill that jewelry salesman. Of course not. And he has killed before. Killer Kronk confessed. All you have to do is return the steel mill and shipping line to these gentlemen and go back to prison for about 50 years. What a relief. Here are all the owner's papers, and I'm really sorry they're worthless. Worthless, you'd be surprised. So Superman tells him that it was all a trick, and the prankster just laughs. Everything, or what he says, what's so funny? Everything I fool people with phony headlines, ha ha ha, and you fool me with true headlines, exactly like them. But in the end, it turns out that all our headlines were true and false at the same time. Wait till the warden hears about this. Better put him in a soundproof cell. He'll be laughing all night. We'll put him at hard labor, Superman, and he won't have any strength left for laughing. Speaking of hard labor, those steel workers are going to be late getting home for supper if I don't hustle. What a paper we're going to put out today, Clark. You'd never guess what happened during the night. Let's see. The Region came in safely. The runaway steel mill returned. Todd and Marsden got their property back again. The prankster is back in prison, and all's well with the world. I don't know who told you, but you don't have to act so smug about it, as if you'd done it all yourself instead of Superman. This was a pretty good story. I thought that the prankster's scheme was very creative, so I liked this one.